Hey guys, good morning. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and early, 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. All right, this is the second time I made this video. I made a good video. I liked it. I always go back. I'll download the video, and then as it's downloading, it takes sometimes between 10 minutes and an hour, 2 hours to download onto YouTube. And as that's happening, I'll rewatch the video just to make sure to check it over. And I'm glad I did this time because at one point early in the video, it unsynced and the voice didn't match, the video didn't match the audio. And it was a good video, man, and I hated to delete it. I didn't know if I could, come back with another video, and say from my heart what I wanted to say. And I hated deleting it, but it was annoying to watch. And if it was annoying for me to watch, it would be annoying for you guys to watch. So I'm praying it doesn't do it again. All right. The Bagel Karen, as she's now known, okay? We all know who she is. We should all know who she is now. It was the David H. Bakery in New York. This lady without a mask. The store, the private property requires masks in their store. There's the employee behind the counter. Now, he is an employee. He is required to earn his pay to follow the company's rules and regulations, right? This lady doesn't have a mask on. He can't serve her. He's just earning his pay, right? She's got her hand on her hip, and you could tell by her, like I said in the other video, you could tell by her body, her body language, man. She's got this haughty aura about her. And I didn't know this in the first video, but the guy behind the counter said, "Don't look at me like that," or "Please don't look at me like that." I would have said that too. And then she responds that, "Well, I'm wearing glasses, so you can't see how I'm looking at you." So anyway, and there's a bunch of irate customers now piling up. It's morning. They want their coffee. And this woman, it's like no shirts, no shoes, no mask, no service. It's private property. All right, so she spews blankety blank N-word. But it's more than that. It really is. Then she goes down on Instagram, and she doubles down. "This is America. I can say whatever I want. Freedom of speech." She's got the American flag on her Instagram account. "You guys leave me alone. It's freedom of speech. I could say any word I want. I've heard them say that my whole life." And then I didn't mention this in the first video, and I'm and we'll get to that. She says that her children are half black, and their husband's father is a black man, African American man. Right? She kind of uses that as an excuse. So she's heard them say that, so it's freedom of speech. She can say whatever she wants. Then it's one Instagram after another. Then she's like, "Please leave me alone. I was just exercising my freedom of speech. Leave me alone." I'm surprised she doesn't have the "We are the people" from the Constitution, as most of the people that just... I'll get to that in a second. Freedom of speech. All right, so the... Her ex, her children's father has responded, and I have that clip down below. Just the clip. I search. I don't like providing. I like just the clip. I don't like a lot of news or commercials along with it, and it should be just a clip down below. An interview, I think it's with the Griot. And he is not happy by any means that she's spewing this poison. And he has some more words describing this venomous poison. And he says he doesn't want to hear that word from anybody. Caucasian, African American, and he does not want to hear that his kids ever use that word. And he thinks that he's no psychiatrist, but he thinks his ex should look into herself for spewing this nastiness in public. And I couldn't agree with him more. I think that about covers what he said. Now, going back to Karen here, and say people like Tucker Carlson or Fox News. Fox News is now being sued for $1 billion with a B, $1 billion by Dominion and Smartmatic, I think, the voting companies, for knowingly, continually pushing a false narrative, a lie, dishonest, Trump's big lie. They're getting sued for $1 billion now for a flat out lie about the election fraud. Trump's big lie. There are consequences to your freedom of speech, to your words. Words have meaning. Words have power. All right. And it seems like people like this don't seem to realize that. Okay, here's my view of the First Amendment. Let's go back in my way back time machine. They're sitting in a church meeting room around a wooden table with their wigs and their hats, and their muskets, and they're talking about taxation without representation, and who's possessed by the devil. I shouldn't kid around about stuff like that, about the Salem witch stuff. Shouldn't kid around. I'm sorry about that. All right. But anyway, so there's probably always going to be a guy in the corner that's got other ideas. Like Ben Franklin, right? He's a critical thinker, right? He doesn't think like other people. And this is the beauty of America, and now without freedom of speech, that guy would be shut up. That's crazy Harry, crazy Ben in the corner. We don't want, and freedom of speech, I think, was made so that people like that could come and join the conversation. But here's the thing. It's not just him coming out and using his freedom of speech, allowed to say what he wants to say, but to then have a debate, consequences, discussion, repercussions about what he said with his freedom of speech. There's going to be feedback. I think that was the whole purpose of this, to debate stuff, to work it out, to work through it. See what makes sense, see what works, see what doesn't, get everybody's opinion in. And it would seem that conservatives, Trump supporters, people like this Karen, view this freedom of speech thing like they're going to walk in the store and do whatever they want. I don't have to wear a mask, even though it's private property. If she came into my house, you telling me I couldn't just tell her to leave if she came in spewing? The same thing. Private property. She thinks she can just come in there and do and say whatever she wants, and everybody else is just going to, Karen has something to say. Let's all be quiet. We all must listen to her freedom of speech and bow down. No, that's not how it works. Other people have their freedom of speech to respond to yours. I think that's what personally, I think that's what the founding fathers had, because that's the only way it makes sense. It doesn't make sense that anybody can just come out and blurt out whatever they want. Nobody says anything and they walk away. It's kind of foolishness. That's all that is. No, it means people with different ideas, different thoughts, different views. Now, this is something I love because being an artist, I feel like a lot of times I see and hear and think of things differently. I see things from a different view. I've always felt like that. And I love freedom of speech. I love this. A lot of times I'm probably full of nonsense. So, we all are. Sometimes thoughts don't pan out. They make sense in our heads because of our past experiences, our past pain, grief, whatever. And we're angry and we'll say something, and then other people be like, guess what? That doesn't make sense. And it doesn't. And that's the whole point of all this. There's going to be other people's opinions, comments, feedback, discussion, debate on your freedom of speech. That's not woke society. That's not cancel culture. Just because you say something stupid and other people call you on it, and then you keep saying it, and they shut you out because you're spewing nonsense. That's not woke society. That's not cancel culture. That's the way this whole thing was supposed to work. We'll give you your freedom of speech. We're going to respond to it because that's our freedom of speech. That's our right. That's the whole point of all this, to debate it, to work it out, to sift through it, make sense of it all. It's a beautiful thing. It's not woke culture. It's not woke society. It's not cancel culture. It's America. It's not just you that has freedom of speech. It's freedom of thought to all put together and work through it together. It's a beautiful thing. All right, I'll be back later. There's a lot I want to talk about today. The southern states. I don't want to denigrate or talk bad about the southern states, but we got Georgia with these voting suppression laws. We got Arkansas now passing a law that doctors don't have to treat anything they find morally or religious, if they have moral or religious objections to it. What if I was a heroin addict? What if I was ODing? And a doctor could easily. I've come across doctors that have had moral objections to people like the person I was. So that means he can just leave me dying in the street from my disease, from overdosing. That's in Arkansas, and then in Tennessee. Now, the way I understand this is you have to provide proof, like pictures of your goodies you're born with, to prove if you're man or female, so you can play high school sports. Here's my picture of my package. Can I play baseball? Wow. Yeah, I think Connecticut has it right. Just transgender kids are kids. But we'll talk about that in the next videos. All right, you guys have a great Saturday.